Alright guys, so today I'm going to tell you a story about Sleeping Beauty by the Brothers Grimm. So, once upon a time, there was a king and queen who were very upset and sad because they didn't have any children. But one day they finally had a baby girl. And they were so happy about having this baby girl, so they rang all the bells to share their joy. So the king and queen had a christening feast where they invited 7 fairies, and these fairies would act as godmothers to Sleeping Beauty, and each one would give them a gift. But one fairy showed up and was not very happy. So they went through their feast, which, guys, they had gold plates, forks, spoons, and knives, and this is what they used for their feast. But the one fairy didn't get that, so that's why she was mad. So, at the end of the feast, one of the young fairies steps up and says, "Well, your princess will be the most beautiful woman in the world." A second one stood up and said, "Her temper will be as sweet as an angel." The third stepped up and said she'll have wonderful grace in all that she says and does. The fourth one says she's going to sing like a nightingale. The fifth said she shall dance like a flower in the wind. The sixth one says she'll play all music such as never heard on earth. But the seventh fairy, the old fairy, who is mad, spitefully said, "Well, when the princess is 17 years old, she's going to get her finger pricked by a spindle, and she's going to die." Well, one fairy, who knew that this other older fairy was mad, decided to hide behind a curtain and wait for her turn so that she'd be the last one, so she could hopefully fix whatever it was that the old fairy said if it was bad. So she steps up and she says, "Well, she's not gonna die. She'll get her finger pricked, but she won't die. Instead, she's gonna sleep for 100 years. After this 100 years is up," she says, "there'll be a prince who's gonna come by, and he will find her, and he will kiss her, and she'll wake up." So the king wasn't very happy about this, but it is what it is. It just happened. So as the king and queen were away one day when she was 17 years old, she was roaming around the castle, and she went upstairs to find an old lady spinning on a spindle, and she wanted to try it too. So the old lady let her try it, and when she did, she got her finger pricked and fell fast asleep. So the young fairy came through and didn't want the young Sleeping Beauty to be scared when she woke up. So she froze everyone, what they were doing, where they were at, and froze them sitting in that same position for 100 years with her. So time finally went on, and as time goes on, a new royal family took over. And after 100 years, this royal family that was in the king and queen at the time had a son, and he saw the 2 towers from the castle and wondered what they were about and where they were, what they were from. So he started looking around, and he got the story of Sleeping Beauty, and he went in to find out what the story was about and if it was true. Well, he went to find this castle and saw that it was covered in wood. And so he went through the wood, but only he was the only one allowed. Nobody could follow him. It would only let him through. So he went in and he looked around. He wasn't very scared, but he saw all these people frozen in place. And he went in and he found Sleeping Beauty. And so, like the story tells, he kissed her and she woke up. Well, when she woke up, they sat there and they talked and they talked, and while they were talking, all of the other people who were frozen were started to begin to unfreeze. And as they unfroze, they continued doing everything it was that they were doing before they were frozen. So the cook announced that it was dinner time, and this prince and Sleeping Beauty went downstairs and had dinner. And after dinner, they were married. And then they lived happily ever after.